Hey guys, this is Kelly. Hey, I finished page number 26 in my 28-page mini art journal, and I called it "One is a Lonely Number." I wanted to use some Tim Holtz stamps because I haven't used them in such a long time, and I was in a stamping mood. So I busted out my watercolor crayons and my gelatos and wanted to see how it was going to go. Wasn't real sure what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted some nice rustic, like, fall colors. I had some torn pieces of paper from an old book that I got at a secondhand store, thrift store. I don't remember where I got it, but love the pages because they're already like tea stained and really brittle. Ugh, I love those pages. But so I just laid down some brown, used my watercolor brush and smeared it around a little bit. And after I was messing with the watercolors, because this page is gessoed, it wasn't quite as brilliant as I wanted it. So after I used this, I wound up using some gelato colors. So, and I just have some yellow in the middle and some blue around it. Some brown on the outside. And I know that I'm going to be stamping on tissue paper. I just love to do that. I love how it looks. I love how it makes placement easy. This video is like 10 minutes. Super quick, and I love how it turned out. So I'm just spreading the blue around with the watercolor brush, being careful not to make mud, so I keep cleaning off the brush. Then my yellow kind of disappeared, so I just kind of blotted it up, and then you know how gelatos are, they're so buttery. If it was a little bit wet, it just smeared really nicely. I loved it. But it was a little bit too yellow. It wasn't quite fall and rustic enough for me. So add a little bit of blue. Then the blue is a little bit too light. So I kind of mess with it and just mix colors until I get it to what I want. And then in the yellow was just too yellow, so I tried to add some peach. My brown wasn't quite brown enough. And that rust color of my gelato, that worked out perfectly. So kind of smeared it around here and there, spread it out a little bit more. And then for my yellow, it wasn't quite working, so I had like a fleshy color and I put that down, and that didn't do anything to it, so I wound up using the orange, and that was exactly what I wanted. That was the color I was kind of going for. I think if I would have left it orange, it would have been a little too orange. I think it needed to be just the right combination for the color I really wanted. Okay, so it's just background color. I have somewhat of an idea of how I'm going to lay out my things, but I'm not quite sure yet. So there's some Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamp. I love that guy with the umbrella. I got my archival ink on my tissue paper. Be careful with that because it sticks. His leg didn't stamp perfectly, but I don't care. The imperfections of this page are my favorite part. And then I have that lamp post. I've had that for a very, very long time. I got it in the clearance rack at either Michael's or Joann's, I can't remember. That's pretty cool. I don't think the scale is perfect. I think the guy should be a little smaller or the lamp should be a little bigger, one or the other. But I'm going to make it work anyway. I like the lamp post. I'm just putting my stuff away. And that right there, what you see of my gelatos, that is the limit. That's all I have. And they're not gelatos, they're gel sticks. A lot of you guys have been watching me for a long time. You know I got them for like 11 bucks or something like that. Super cheap for just a set that was actually for kids. It's the exact same thing as the gelatos, but they don't have all the really, really cool colors. But if you mix them just right, you can make colors, all kinds of different colors. So there's the birds. I wound up not using them. They just made it seem a little too busy and just didn't go quite right when I started stamping some of the other items that I liked. And then I realized how lonely he looks, just standing there next to a lamppost, and he looks so lonely. And I started kind of going with the idea of, okay, he's pretty lonely. And then I saw tickets in the stamps, the Tim Holtz stamps, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to snap. Now I like that. I like how that looks right there with the birds. But sorry about that. But I started looking at the stamps and how lonely he looked, and there's one that says admit one, and I was like, yeah, I'm going with that. I kind of like how that feels. And then the postcard stamp. Going to show you what I used. So the postcard and the Admit One stamp, I used those too. Sorry for the glare. I did it all off screen because I fussed with it for a really long time. And there's the whole bunch of stamps in there. So in a world of, it's not stamps, but a whole bunch of tickets. In a world of billions of tickets, you're all alone. I don't know, the guy looks lonely. So there's my matte medium, and I laid it out, and I like how that looks, and so that I don't lose it, I use my phone, and I just take a quick picture of it so I can keep the layout there. Because once I start using my matte medium, you know, I might forget where I laid things because I'm busy. So, and that's it. That's a hint. I think I've showed you guys that before in videos before, where, you know, if you love the placement and then you got to move it to get it all glued down, take a picture of it just so you can remember where you got that perfect spot where you really liked it. So, and those are those pages from that book that I was telling you about that I love. So, and you have to be careful because I use the watercolor crayons and then the gelatos, and they do smear a little bit. You have to be kind of quick, but this is real time. I didn't speed this one up. So this is real time, and some of it came off, and I knew it was going to come off, but all it did was make the paper look even more vintage. So I really like how that turned out. You can see the color come off my brush and then go onto the paper, and it just vintage, makes it more vintage. So sorry it got blurry there for a little bit, but you get the gist of it and know what I'm doing. I spread around, but not too much, and it's okay if it's nice and gloopy because texture doesn't kill anybody, so I kind of like it. So that color winds up going onto that print and just makes it kind of meld in just like it's supposed to be there. So I liked how that worked out. And I was tapping a little bit more just to get some more of the color on those sheets of book paper that I got on there. So I dried that pretty good, and then I looked at my placement and I started laying that down. Now I was already tacky on the bottom. Now you can put it down and then add the tissue on top of it, but I was already tacky on the bottom, so I decided that I was just going to put it on top with the tissue paper. It's very delicate, you have to be careful how you deal with it, but I dried the medium that I used to put the book paper down, but it was still, like I said, it was still tacky, so that was enough. And then underneath the tissue paper there's like kind of whitewash looks, and I specifically like that. I think that looks pretty awesome. And I left that tissue paper a little bit bigger than others because I wanted it to be a little bit more uniform, so I wanted it to, you know, tone that color down in the background, just make it look very used and old. Could have gotten crazy with all kinds of shading and stuff, but I kept this one really simple. I was so short on time and I loved how it looked, and I thought don't get too crazy with the wording. But now that word postcard, I wanted that to really pop at the top, so I did color underneath it because I didn't want it to look, I just wanted that one to be really, really clear. I love all the details of that word postcard. And there's the ticket. Now you gotta be gentle with that tissue paper. I wound up breaking his toe there, but made it work. It's looking good. The unevenness of all the stamps, I love it. And I spared me putting the stickers on. So one is a lonely number. They stick on fine, but I do like to kind of cover it with the matte medium just to finish it off. And I did cut off all the edges there so that you guys didn't have to sit and wait through that. I just cut it off even with the page. And then dried it up really good. And then if you look at my octopus page, you see those big white blobs on it? I'm not happy with that, but unfortunately my book got closed, and the page, the octopus page, wasn't completely dried yet. It was still a little tacky. So some of it came off on the other page. You know what? But I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm a little bummed about it, but I'm over it. So, but now I'm just using archival ink to kind of frame it in. And I was going to go crazy with the shading all around the letters, and I still might after the fact here, but I didn't want to call too much attention to that, and I thought it would be overkill. So the fact that they're black with white letter. I think it's kind of contrasting enough. I could get crazy and outline the letters and stuff like that, but I just kind of left it where it's at. So there it is. 1 is a lonely number because that guy is just makes me think he's just lonely. So I initial it and I date it and call it a day. So easy, 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 super easy page, and I love it. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. And there's the picture again, really vibrant colors at the end. So hope you guys like it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and comment and share, and let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.